In this video, I'm going to show you how to create subscription application. We are going to using Next.js, Prisma, and also Lemon Squeezy. As you can see, this is really simple. I just want to show you how works, right? So this is the pro plan. And for example, user want to subscribe this plan right here. So I'm going to put email and then click subscribe. And as you can see now on the database, we just have this Jan at mail, right? And status is active. Let's take a look. Here is the payment page, right? So I can change the email here and name as well. I'm going to change that. And for the card number, I'm going to use 424242, and for the security code. And also let's put the billing address. Now let's try to click pay button in here. This is $9. Here we go. As you can see, we have this thanks for your order. If I click continue, it basically will redirect me to the dashboard. And now as you can see, I'm on a pro version with full access unlock. Really cool. If I go to the database, if I refresh that, it should be have new user in here called John, right? And the status is basically active. So that's what we're gonna learn. Really simple. And hopefully this video is not going to be too long. And yep, let's get started. All right, so let's generate a brand new Next.js application. I'm gonna call that subscription-app. I'm gonna use the recommended default settings here. So in this project, we are going to initialize setcn, so we can running npx setcn at latest init. Then as you can see, we have the component folder. Inside that we have button by default. So now let's trying to clone another component, which is batch, card, and also input component. I'm gonna hit enter. And as you can see, now we have the batch, card, and an input component. Now let's open the app/page.tsx, and I just want to paste this UI here. It's just really simple. What the important part is just the input. So in this input, we grab the value email, and then we store that on the state, of course. And then here, as you can see, when I click the button subscribe, it's basically will running the subscribe button. And this function here will be running. As you can see, this basically will make a post request on the /API/checkout, and then sending the body here, the email, right? So let's take a look at the UI on the browser. So anyway, the UI is just really simple. We have just one card in here that user can put email and also can subscribe it, right? Cool. So the next thing is let's try to create this API/checkout route. So let's go to app, then quick create the API/checkout, then /route.ts. Just try to make sure this is working. So I'm going to create really simple post function in here that just return the email, right? So let's try here. I'm going to go back to the localhost 3000. Let's typing my email here, right? So I'm going to click subscribe. Let's take a look in here. We have the post request and then 200 respond, and the respond we have the email, right? This is successful. Great. Now what we have to do is let's trying to initialize a Prisma. So we can run npx Prisma init. And then after that, we need to update the Prisma schema here. As you can see, I'm going to basically create a model called user that have this ID, email is unique, status is inactive by default, and then subscription ID is basically come from the Lemon Squeezy and then the created add. Here we go. That's it. Now what we have to do is let's try to update the environment variable here. I just want to use my PostgreSQL local database. So basically, this is my database URL, PostgreSQL : and etc. Great. So now what we can do is we can say like npx Prisma generate, right? It's basically will generate folder. I believe it should be inside the lib. As you can see, wait, it's not working. Cannot find module Prisma config. Oh yeah, because in here, as you can see on the Prisma config.ts, basically we get this error. The reason is because we have to install this one right here. Basically, I'm gonna copy and then install that like this. Now, hopefully the error should be gone. Now, as you can see, the error is gone, and then basically we can run npx Prisma generate. But as you can see in here on the schema.prisma, it basically will create this output right here on the lib folder. So we can open the lib folder. As you can see in here, this is just have utils file, but this is will be the generated folder. As you can see in here, right? Here we go. We have the generated folder. Great. So now what we have to do is let's trying to open the lib, and then I'm going to create a db.ts file. This is basically what we are going to initialize the Prisma. I just want to copy and paste the initialized Prisma in here. As you can see, just export default Prisma, and then basically we need to install this Prisma adapter-pg. So I'm going to copy the name and install it. So basically, I have step-by-step how you can use Prisma ORM version 7 in Next.js. And this is basically how to create the db.ts file and etc. So now, it should be done. So we can say like npx prisma db push. And then now we can just check the database. We can say like npx prisma studio. And as you can see, everything is in here, right? The user have ID, create ad, email, status, and etc. So now we need to set up the Lemon Squeezy. We need to get the API key, the store ID, variant ID, and also webhook secret is basically just a random string, right? So let's go to Lemon Squeezy, and we are going to sign in. On the Lemon Squeezy dashboard, first you have to create your stores. As you can see, I create two in here. This is basically for our demo right now, demo store app. As you can see, this is the ID, so I can just copy that and then go back to the environment variable, and I'm gonna put that in here, store ID. Great. So now how we can get the API key? It's pretty simple. You have to go to the API in here, and then you can just create new one in here, right? Just create that, and then let's try that. Here, I'm going to give a name like a subscription app. Click create API key, and then here, now as you can see, this is the API key. So we can copy that and then paste that to this Lemon Squeezy API key. Here we go. And then let's try to see, we can just close that. Nice. So the next thing is we need to get the Lemon Squeezy variant ID. So let's go to the store, I believe, and then here we can create the products, right? But just make sure you're always on the test mode right now, right? So let's click the new product, and then I'm gonna give a name whatever I want. You can put your product description, and then for the pricing, I'm gonna select subscription, and then pricing model is standard pricing, and then the price I'm gonna say $9, right? And then also repeat payment every month, this one in here. And then you can just see everything in here, like a media. You can put media, files, link, variant, and then down here, as you can see, confirmation model. So this basically will show after user successfully make a payment. Then you can put any message in here if you want. So I'm gonna click publish product, and then we should see the list of the product in here, and I'm gonna click this three icon, and then I'm gonna click the copy variant ID. So that's the variant ID, so I'm gonna paste that in here. So don't use my value in here. I'm going to remove all the store after I create this video. Now let's create another file on the lib folder. I'm gonna call that lemonsqueezy.ts file, and then in here basically we are going to create a function. So I'm going to create a function in here called create checkout. This function is take a parameter called email, and then as you can see in here, I create response variable and then running the fetch in this URL, right? api.lemonsqueezy.com/version1 checkout, and then the method is post request, and then this is the header, right? And then this is the important part, which is the body, and then the type is checkout, and then the attribute, we send the checkout data into the email, right? The email is come from the parameter. And then here for the product option, this is basically the redirect URL. So after user successfully make a payment, this basically will redirect user to the localhost 3000, whatever the next public app URL is, and then slash dashboard, and then send this email as a parameter URL. Then as you can see in here, the relationship is send store, right? This basically paste the Lemon Squeezy store ID, and then the variant send the Lemon Squeezy variant ID. So where we have to running this create checkout function is basically on the API/checkout. So in here, I'm going to create variable called URL set equals to await for the create checkout. And remember, the function should be sending email as a parameter. And then now what we have to do is just trying to return this URL right here, right? And then also before we make a create checkout, I just want to make sure that we store the data into the database. So we can running prisma.user in here, right? So what happened in here is basically this post is basically will return just the URL. And then we are going to grab the URL on the page in here, right? As you can see on the top in here, we grab that URL, and then we redirect user to that URL so user can basically make a payment, right? So now let's try to subscribe. I'm gonna put the email, right? john@mail.com, click subscribe. And as you can see, we have this error, right? Cannot resolve Prisma client, runtime client. What the hell is that? So maybe we not yet install the Prisma client. As you can see on the dependency object in here, we don't see the Prisma client, right? So let's try to install it. npm install prisma/client. All right, so now let's try to make a subscribe here. I'm gonna put the email, john@mail.com. Here we go. As you can see, the URL on the top in here, really nice. And as you can see, now we on the payment here. really cool. So I can just put the email in here and then put the card number. So basically you can use 4242 like Stripe, I believe. And then here you can put a random security code. Let's try to click the pay button in here. As you can see, it's processing. Then finally, we get this modal confirmation that say the payment is successful. As you can see, it's redirect me to the dashboard page. The reason is because as you can see in here on the redirect URL, I put this string, right? It's basically /dashboard and then send this email as a parameter. So now let's create the dashboard page here on the app folder. I'm going to create a dashboard /page.tsx, right? And then I just want to copy and paste this page in here. It's just really simple. First, we grab the search parameter from the URL, right? We grab the email. And then finally, we check the email on the database using prisma.user.findUnique. And then down here, we just check that if the user.status equals to active, show this text right here, full access unlock. If not, or the user status is inactive or inactive, it basically will show the subscription not active yet. So now let's take a look here. As you can see, the subscription not active yet. But remember, we already make a payment, right? So what the problem here is basically the database is not yet updated. It's just because after we make a payment and it's successful, there's nothing happen with the database. So we have to update that. So that's why we need to something called webhooks in here. In order to using webhooks, we need to make sure this application should be live public, right? But now this is just running on the localhost 3000. So how do we make this application on the public? So we are going to use ngrok, and I'm going to expose the port 3000 in here. So I'm going to hit enter, and now basically this is the live URL value. So I'm going to copy that and then trying to open it right here. I'm going to hit enter. Then click this visit site. As you can see, now our website on localhost is on the live URL with ngrok in here. It's really cool. Now let's try to create the webhooks route. Here I'm going to go to API, and then let's try to create folder called webhooks/route.ts file. So anyway, I just want to copy and paste this value in here. So as you can see, this basically make a post request. And what the important part in here is basically this one right here. As you can see, we grab the event name. So the event name in here is basically have value like a subscription created when user subscribe, right? And subscription update, and then subscription cancel, and then expire. So as you can see in here, we also can grab the email. This is the way we grab the email, the subscription ID, and then the status. So first we need to copy this ngrok URL, then go back to Lemon Squeezy. Now let's go to settings and then webhooks. And in here, you can paste the URL. You can create new webhooks and then paste the URL, and then make sure you create API/webhooks, right? This is that we create route in here, right? Webhooks. Here we go. Now the sign-in secret is basically what you typing on the environment variable Lemon Squeezy webhook secret. Just make sure you put the random value in here, and make sure what you click in here is basically the subscription created, subscription update, and cancel, right? That's it. So let's click a save webhook. So as you can see, I just remove all the data on the database. We are going to start from the blank empty database. Now let's go to the localhost 3000, and I'm going to subscribe with this chan@mail.com. Let's try to click subscribe, and it's basically will redirect me to the demo-store app. Here we go, really nice. And then I just want to change the email, and then the placeholder here should be like just Chan, right? So for the card number, I just want to put this value. So now let's put the billing address. Let's see what we have after I click the pay button. Then as you can see, we have this modal confirmation that the payment is successful. If I click continue, as you can see, it basically redirect me to the dashboard. And now as you can see, now we have this full access unlock, and we are on the pro, right? So if you open the database here, I'm going to refresh that. Let's take a look. As you can see, we have this email and the status is active, and also we have the subscription ID. All right, so hopefully this video helpful, and thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.